being videoed. It's 2:05 on the, what is it, the 21st of May, 2024. Okay. Has everybody looked at the minutes from the last meeting? Any changes? Let me see. There was one.
I move we accept the minutes of April 16, 2024.
All in favor?
Oh, second.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, thank you. And, yeah.
Chair, I invited Matt because I know we're going to be talking about the trail on Mumford Road. And so, and also about Walnut. No, I'm sorry.
Hemlock?
Hemlock. So maybe we might have jumped to Matt to
Right.
give us an update.
Right, that's fine. Okay, the trail walk on, that we took. Was
So let's
it-
go to Hemlock first.
Okay. All right.
I was not able to understand the process for Chapter 61 and being asked to make a determination on this particular property. So Matt's going to explain it.
So, good evening, members of the committee. Matthew Benoit, Director of Community Development for the minutes taker. So what we had was a letter from an attorney, and I don't know if anyone saw this, but I'll circulate it around. It was dated April 17th, their intent to foreclose on the property, thus offering the town its first right of refusal. This was circulated by the Selectmen's Office and then circulated to the boards and commissions for their opinion on whether or not they would recommend that the town purchase the property. So, and this is a little odd because it's a foreclosure, and usually we wouldn't even get a notice like this. But I think in this case, because the mortgage note is far less than the appraised value, I think they're thinking that they could get maximum value for this from the town if the town were to get an appraisal on it. And I think this land probably appraised around $775,000, but the mortgage note outstanding is about $310,000. So I think they're trying to, and through foreclosure, obviously this goes out to auction and they take the highest bidder on that. But I think,
And we would have to match the highest bidder.
no, we wouldn't even, this wouldn't even go to auction.
Wouldn't go that
yet.
far.
They're asking for us if
Okay.
we want to exercise our first right. And if we do, then we go out to get an appraisal. And then the town meeting would have to vote on whether or not we accept the funds. Whether it would die at that point. Who knows? But
Yeah, and
it's kind of the entire process. It's a little odd because it's a foreclosure, so we don't have a value in the letter.
yeah,
So we're left to determine that information on our own.
47 acres.
Yeah, give or take.
47 plus or minus. So oddball question on this. If the town votes to have an interest and proceed for it, can they cut out the house lot and then keep the rest of the acreage for open space?
I think the frontage is very minimal.
Yep.
And, I mean, if they were to carve it off, you'd be landlocking it itself and then making a nonconformance, and you can't create new nonconformance.
Okay.
Really, so there's only 200 feet frontage on it?
I don't even think it has that.
Really?
Yeah, it's a pre-existing nonconforming lot.
Evergreen Street, it's called on my map.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just a panhandle, yeah. Interesting. Well, we looked at it before thinking that it would be a great recreational place in a different part of town that is not covered for that sort of thing. It's wide open land, right?
From what I understand, and this is only rumors, this is kind of a hoarding situation, I think.
Oh, I know the people.
Yeah.
Yeah, so whoever gets the house would have to absolutely clean it out or gut it or demolish it. I'm
Burn it,
sure.
yeah.
And then all the tractors and stuff on the land has to be removed.
Yeah, and they're gonna walk away because they put money, the owners or whatever, yeah, everybody else.
Right.
might be worth taking a look at it before we make a determination. Has anyone else looked at it?
The planning board and the Conservation Commission both voted to not exercise the first right. I think Conservation agent went and took some photos from the edge of the property, but the commission voted not to exercise the first right. At least they didn't all unanimously vote that, but.
A few of them did, a few of them didn't.
Right. So the vote didn't pass.
Do we know who owns the lot below that, to the south, along the border?
They're all privately owned. There's no town-owned property that abuts this.
Someone might be able to give us a way in from another direction, though.
It seems that the Coles also own 16 Hemlock, but that's not part of the foreclosure process at this point.
Oh, this is cold, 16.
So I guess I'm still a little confused about that block. Because
You're scraping. Poor Sarah.
this is just foreclosure notice. How is there, I mean, because somebody could walk in and pay their mortgage off tomorrow. So how is this under any kind of law?
Because they filed a affidavit with the registry, and I believe that made it official that they're going to seize the mortgage.
So this attorney, you're saying?
Yes.
Filed, okay.
Yep.
So when does the clock run out?
It's 90 days starting April 16th. And the select board have this on their next agenda, which is next week, an executive session.
Well, it seems like a pretty big project. I don't know. What does everybody think about that? Do we want to look at it, or?
Yeah, that's a tough call with the amount of stuff that's going to be cleaned up in there, too. How much is that going to put in the hole versus plus what you're going to pay for it?
Plus, it's not like we're going to
I'd
lose.
love to have that piece.
Yeah. It is landlocked, so, other than that strip, so in a way, it's not going to be a development or something like that.
It could be if a developer wanted to put in a road.
Right.
They'd have to submit a
Evergreen
subdivision
Street.
application.
That would be a better reason for going at it.
And yeah, most of that property is critical natural landscape.
It is,
Yeah.
Well, so do we have enough information to make a decision? And would we have to get landowner permission in order to go look at it, correct?
Yes.
I mean, if we're the only ones that are recommending, then it's probably going to get pushed out anyway, right?
Well, we
Most-
shouldn't be basing our decision on.
Right, yeah.
I mean, what purpose would we, what purpose would we recommend that?
That's right.
What do you envision?
It could be like a rec field or a, if it's a field, I mean, it's,
Because I think
Hey.
that's part of the question is
To do
what
with-
purpose can we envision for this particular property?
You've got the field, so yeah, rec field, community gardens.
and you can't do community gardens on conservation, oh, that's conservation land, so open space you can.
Right.
Okay.
So depending on whose purview it falls under, it stays under the town. There are wetlands,
Yeah.
according to this map. Localized trail system, preservation of critical natural landscape.
A dog park.
Disc.
Disc golf,
golf.
yeah.
You know what it's been historically?
It's been a farm for the longest time.
Cindy Ross, it was the Gay Farm. Was it the Gay Farm? No, there was were the two farms. Caswell, I think it was the Caswell Farm. The White House on the left, just beyond it. And the Gay Farm was farther down, and the two were the only ones on the road, and they used to feud.
What do they have that under Chapter 61? Is it recreation or agricultural?
Agriculture.
It's agricultural then. So we don't have that much agricultural per se in town.
And when are the selectmen meeting on it?
Meeting on this next Tuesday.
Next Tuesday. I guess it'd be worth looking at it.
Well, what if we can't get permission?
Then it's not.
Next Tuesday isn't the day after the fourth, that's the fourth Tuesday?
Yeah, they pushed their meeting back that was supposed to be today to next week because of a passing of one of the board members.
Oh, they're not meeting tonight?
Correct.
Oh, okay. Do we have a contact number for anybody over there?
I don't believe so. I mean, the town clerk might.
How about the lawyer?
All we have is, and that's the lawyer. The
Yeah.
lawyer's lawyer.
Yeah.
So I don't think they have access to the property at this time.
No, I'm just, if you want to try, I'm up for it. It's just, it might be hard to get.
We'll just go over there, go up the driveway and ask.
Yeah.
You want to do that? And then get back to everybody?
But we'd have to post it as a meeting and then,
Yeah. So we couldn't do it till Friday.
or we could do it Tuesday, and then we'd have to immediately report
Right.
our decision to the board. Do you have any time this? Well, if we posted it today, we could do it as early as
Friday
Thursday.
afternoon. It has 48 hours, so. Thursday.
So Friday,
Friday would be better. It might be cooler, huh? Thursday, maybe thunderstorms and stuff by the time we get there. Because it's got to be 48 hours from now.
so we could do, maybe we should post 2 meetings because if nobody's there or if the weather's bad. Right? But if it's a sidewalk, we have to post it for a sidewalk. Have to post it for a decision.
So long as there's 3 of you there, which makes your quorum. Right, there's a 5th member of this group, right?
Yes.
Right, so 3 is a quorum. But if there's only 2, then you don't have to post it.
That's great. Oh, I could stay home. Then we could go now.
Make it 2.
Huh?
Make it easy, make it 2.
Yeah, and then it might not be as intimidating to the people.
Well, why don't we do that?
We could do that any day. And
2 of us can go out, and then if nobody's there, we can try 2 others another day. But then we still need a meeting for a decision.
meeting has to be here. And can be there in the car after we walk.
Just has to be posted.
Mhm. So, 2 no post. Okay.
Posted in a place with video so that the minutes taker can,
Oh,
yeah. So here would be best.
yeah. Meeting.
Our minutes taker is a member of the committee.
Oh, well, that's good. But I believe our board, our meetings have to be videoed, of course. So,
So post it here for Tuesday, next Tuesday,
Okay.
right?
Yep. That's,
The 28th. Good luck.
Right now, I think I can.
yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm going to look at my calendar when I get home.
Actually, I think I probably can do 2. I have physical therapy twice a week now. 2 o'clock, okay. Oh,
Or somewhere in that vicinity,
Yeah.
so that we have from now until then. Try
yeah.
to
I think it's in the morning, so that's right.
try to look at it, right?
Okay.
And then if we can't, and we don't, then we meet here and
Yeah.
see. Most people.
Okay, before, I don't know if Matt's going to leave or not, but can I change up the agenda here a little bit too? Because I have a question for him.
Yep.
Maybe pull your microphone closer.
Can we go to number 4 on the agenda right now? On the Keven property?
4 on the agenda.
Yeah, just going out of order here.
That's, oh, I see, yep. I was like, that's 5, no. Okay.
Mine's a procedural question, is about what to do, because the town budget approved the money to pay for that.
Yep.
Conservation Works. So how do we get that going?
The funds won't be available till July 1.
Okay,
And if we wanted to get estimates for surveys, we'd have to seek estimates and keep them within the $5,000 range.
do you have to have more than one estimate?
Yes, we need 3.
Okay,
3 estimates, so we have 1.
Isn't there cap?
Yeah, the funds appropriated were only 5K. That's all we got.
Yeah, but I'm saying, is there a cap to fill out the bid?
I think,
If it's less than a certain, what we mentioned, if it's less than a certain amount, we still have to get 3 estimates.
I think it's 5,000. I think the number is 5,000.
And then can we issue the RFP through your office?
Sure.
thank you.
What else do we have to ask him about?
Well, the last, I mean, when we were down in the office, Jen has gotten a call from an abutter to the Mumford Street property that we were out on last month. And it's a bit unclear as to which side this person's on, but I don't know if I have it. But there was a complaint about parking on the street and/or some cutting through driveway after a trail. So as you remember, there is parking at a parking lot right there next to the property. Now, whether we need a parking and an arrow sign more on the south side, there is parking there.
Number 95 is this one.
Okay. So we were looking at changing the trail a little bit so that, right, so that it doesn't exit onto private property.
So they think we were on their,
No, not us, but
Yeah.
they see other cars parking on the street, which is
right,
not anything we can do with anything.
right, it's along the where there is the conservation land as well.
And there's a parking area. So
Mhm.
if there were more people, but you're allowed to park along the street there.
So what's happening, they're following the trail straight like we did the first time we went out there and going on,
Cutting the corner on their land because the river probably does, right?
yeah,
It
they
looks
hit their
like it.
driveway. I don't know if they walk out of their driveway and,
Now that's, the one that complained is the one that's to the west.
5.4 or 1401.
What is that?
What's the number of?
What's the,
It doesn't have a number, it just has a 95 on it.
It costs up to-
It's the one next to the parking lot.
so-
So if we did walk in and then we started venturing a little towards the brook, you know,
oh, so that's not even, I have no idea why they would be on their property.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe, I mean, maybe they think where the sign is their property, you know.
This is, the parking's like somewhere over here. This is 95 right here.
But do you have any suggestions on how best to deal with that?
I haven't even seen this area. I mean, he's looking for additional signage to help folks identify where the parking lot is. I mean, roadway commissioners or the highway department might have to,
There's a parking,
right?
There is a big sign.
Right.
When you pull in, you see it. You
Yeah.
don't see it from the road necessarily.
I
Right.
wonder if they realize that they have to go down the side of the road to hit the trail, and instead they're parking there and trying to walk
And then cut across
from
the
there.
river?
I-
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, once a year or something. Or you can look it up and see that there's that house, a little parking area, and then
You have to walk a little ways across the river and enter the area.
30 feet maybe.
Yeah.
And then the trailhead is right there. Maybe it needs to be more obviously marked as the trailhead.
Yeah, where you
Signage.
enter.
Trail that way. Trailhead down the road. Yep.
More signs.
Well, it's just, I don't know if we have a budget for signs right now. For conservation money, be able to do that.
Yeah, that sounds like where they're here. So we want to talk about the trail walk that we took?
Yes, tell me all about it.
You were there. Yep. Yeah, you were rescuing a bleeding horse, that's right. Or two. Yep, it was, Brandon had an appointment shortly after that, so him and Gordon headed into the woods, just so Gordon could show him, give him an idea of the whole layout. And then Lisa and I went in, we all went in later, and we ended up running into them, and then we didn't take the whole loop, but we just talked about, and then we walked over towards the river off of the main initial trail, and poked in to see where, you know, we could maybe enjoy the river a little bit along the river and make an additional loop.
He did say one of the places we went in, he said was wetlands. So we couldn't
You guys walked with him from the other direction, and Gordon and I kind of went along and then went backwards along
We
the
ran
river.
right to the river,
Right.
and he said some of that was, right next to the river was wetlands.
Yeah, it was flagged from previous,
It was dry, but it had vegetation that was wetland.
but the purpose of conserving it and the purpose of having it there is also to help people better understand the wetlands. So there's an educational component. So if we design the trail properly, we can absolutely still do that. There's some wildflowers blooming. It was just to get to know the vegetation and everything. Very little. It's not a big additional loop, but it goes out to the river and swings back. So it's definitely.
So do we need to contact conservation or whatever to go out there and make a new trail?
Well, I think we should maybe plan a little more about exactly how that.
It's gonna go and where.
Tape it out and keep it enough away from the wetlands so we don't encroach it, but you can see it or whatever, right?
Yeah, we could definitely make a path through there. It's just that you don't want to do too much to disturb it, because then if the water rises, you lose what work you put into it. So it's just to be conscious of that. But I'm sure if we have a more solid, or we could take different tape or something and go out there and mark the trail, and then you would definitely come back out. Even in a different season, it'd be great, because you could tell us more about what the place, the vegetation and everything is there, and give us recommendations on whether it's a wise trail or
Yep.
reevaluate. But I think it's something we can do without needing a consultant like Keenan.
Okay, next, I guess, do we need Matt here, or you want to stay? You're welcome to stay. Yeah, what's going on with the Sutton on Douglas development up on Duval Road?
The select board need to sign off on the land transfer, and they'll be doing that at their next meeting. Once they do, that was the prerequisite. They needed to have that done before they can break ground. And after that, they're going to hold a pre-construction meeting with the town to discuss their first steps.
So the land transfer from who to who?
From them to the Douglas Conservation Commission.
Do we have a map of where that is?
Yeah, I mean,
Is it online?
oh yeah, it's been surveyed out, and they already recorded their survey drawings from there.
Yeah, so you can look at the whole sketch and see where some have been etched in lots.
And it's already on our
okay.
GIS. Yes.
How many acres?
Oh boy,
Yeah.
I forget, 60 or so.
Really good. They gonna put trails in for us?
I don't believe once they,
No.
it's not.
Never.
I think there's some trails already out there though. But once that's more.
Yeah.
Is there easy access to this property?
There's a couple of access points. It's like 40 feet wide to Conservation Drive to Mumford Road, I believe.
Really, you can go to Conservation Drive and access that now?
Yes, it's 40 feet and that's it, but it's a narrow strip.
And parking in the street? Yep. That's great. Conservation Drive,
It's the, what is it called? Douglas Sutton
LLC.
Yep.
Development. Conservation Drive.
Yeah, it connects to Forest Street, and that's kind of where one of their roads would be. It comes in off of Sutton through Duval Road and creates a network of cul-de-sacs and winding roads, and then exits onto Forest, 5 Forest Street.
So if you went to the res on West Street and took a right at the dam up the road there and followed that all the way to the end, Birch Street, There's a little neighborhood in there they'll access from the right before you get into Sutton, and then take a right on Duval Road, and it's in there. It starts in Sutton.
So would we be able to expand on some of those trails or do some put some signage in there? I thought we were going to get some possibilities from the developer before this was all so.
I'm sure they'd be interested in helping us out with that, but I don't think we've had those conversations yet because they're just getting started.
Okay.
Once they get into some of their lots and their stormwater lots, maybe there's a way to get through there, but I'm not sure. We'll see.
Sorry, I don't understand the way to get through there.
So when they build their entire neighborhood, there's some lots that'll be deeded to us as part of their stormwater design. And maybe we can
Get
access.
parking or something in there,
Right.
yeah.
Maybe. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's hard to say at this time. They might find that some of their lots are too wet, and they might not be able to build those. Maybe those end up transferring to the town. It's when they do the road acceptance. We're not sure yet. That's just lots on paper right now until they do NOIs for those. Maybe those get approved, maybe they don't. We'll see. It's just, there's a lot of who knows at this point.
So the property we're about to, voted on at town meeting, we're about to accept, it does or does not have access?
It has 3 points of access. One's in Sutton and 2 are in Douglas.
So is there one, where's the third?
Mumford Road, I believe. Or Manchester, I forget those two streets.
Yeah, I know, and I kind of mixed up too.
It is Mumford Road, Conservation Drive, and Duval. And a lot of the land is protected habitat. A lot of it is. So the main brook that, I don't know what brook that is.
They didn't, I don't think it has,
The Mumford River kind of cuts right through it.
right. But as someone pointed out, that's not the Mumford River there. It goes into the Mumford River.
No, it depends on which you decide is that water.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Yeah. All right. Do you want to ask about Castle Caves and what happened at the town meeting?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. I was surprised at the town meeting floor when that got passed over. That was kind of surprising to me. I know that the FinCom kind of voted to not support it.
Right, the three that they didn't support all got flushed out. But Castle Caves, I was talking to someone that works for the water department while we were waiting to get our voting ticket, and he said that they're concerned that they could put a well in there. And that's why they don't want it to become town property, because they're, not become conservation, because then they wouldn't have access to it.
Right. Once it becomes conservation land, your uses
Stuck.
are incredibly limited, and in order to get it changed, you need a vote of legislature to get it out. And that's an incredibly hard process.
So I said, well, why don't you figure it out and let us have the land afterwards?
Right. So it's under the control of the Board of Selectmen. I think if this was privately owned land and it needed to go into chapter, I think it'd be a lot easier to pallet for the town, but because it's already under town control and the Board of Selectmen have it, I think that was more difficult for them to digest. So it is property that we currently own.
Why was this taken before the Finance Committee?
Finance Committee looks at zoning articles too. I don't even know why. Like in every other town I've worked in, they usually vote to defer those articles, but our Finance Committee weighs in on them. I'm not sure.
There's no financial, there are no
Implications.
funds being allocated or moved. It should not have any determination.
then they passed over the other ones. That was it.
Well, let's move on to the agenda.
Okay. All right. I think Matt's all set. If Walnuts, do we want to talk about Walnut Street or anything, or? No? Yeah.
Are there any other open space possibilities that are on the radar?
I'm not aware of any, or 61A opportunities. I'm not sure. None of them yet. There's that one that we were talking about, was that last meeting, but it wasn't an actual intent. Is that Walnut Street? I think one of them came up, but it wasn't an actual notice of intent to move off of 61, so I haven't heard anything else from that one.
No, I think we're still talking.
Yeah. But I haven't heard any others yet.
So no subdivisions or developments coming in, right? New ones?
Someone is trying to revitalize the Evergreen Estates, which is Thomas Circle off of South Street. Someone's trying to get that one started again, but that subdivision and all the orders and conditions are long expired, so they have to refile everything. There was some open space as part of that was supposed to be transferred, but none of it was like connected to a roadway or anything, just the stormwater basin. So I'm hoping that would.
Right, well, that does provide an access down to the Walnut Street Conservation Area.
But that entire plan is expired?
Yeah. The lot lines are permanent, and those are recorded, but the actual approvals for the definitive subdivision and the order conditions are long expired.
So the parcel in the back that Sue's referring to that borders some
Tinkerville.
town property is
Tinkerville.
Timberville. That's still viable?
It's still under private ownership. It hasn't been transferred. I think it would have been transferred as part of the roadway when the road gets accepted. That's usually how that works. But what we've been doing lately with our new subdivisions is asking them to transfer the land in advance to make sure that it's done before the project goes belly up. In this case, that's what happened.
So this is behind the house lots.
Yeah, can you show me where the
How that?
This is supposed to go to the town?
There's no obligation to do that now if the plan is expired.
Right.
But if they come back in for new permits,
They come back in with a flex development special permit to try to get duplexes, then they have to give a portion of that to open space.
Yeah,
I think it's 50%.
They would put a duplex on the existing lot, or they would have to redraw.
I think they'd have to redraw some of them off.
Yeah, they're pretty small.
I believe so. Yeah, and it has to be a combination, single family and two family. It could be 22 duplexes and one single family, as long as the combination thereof, according to our regulations. So I think he wants to maximize the amount of duplexes. And that's what he's tossing back and forth.
All right,
As far as other subdivisions, Perry Street Extension, the Betancourt property over on Northeast Main, Orange Street, that whole area. He keeps trying to ask for A&R lots on Perry Street Extension. We're not having, that's not an actual road. I don't know how they got approved in the past, but that is not a road recognized in the county. So he needs to improve Perry Street, so we gave him the path to do that by filing a definitive subdivision plan with road improvements before he gets any of those lots. So I think he's working on that.
okay. And all the ones on Southeast are approved. But there's the first 4 or first 3 or all? I mean, there's I remember the conservation saying, you know, if you did the right thing for the first 3, then you wouldn't have to undo those, put the 4th one in. But, so are they all approved then?
Yeah, the 9 lots in Southeast and 2 of the lots on Orange Street.
Even though they're wet, they're approved.
Yeah, they have to file individual notice of intents with the commission for water.
Like 4, 5, yeah. All right. I want to talk about the Community Preservation Act Committee, or
Yeah, can you just refresh our memory when the next meeting is?
it's the 30th of this month at 7 PM, Thursday, May 30th, 7 PM. So basically, we are kind of the committee, because conservation didn't show up, recreation didn't show up, housing didn't show up, all those people that said they were going to show up.
I think a lot of folks are scared of the tariff, and they don't want to be on the committee that supports it.
Wait, 1% is a
Well, some
lot.
people, maybe that would be a good night, so
Yep.
we continue to circulate the
Right.
information about when we meet and the historical commission showed up.
Right, and cemetery.
And somebody from the select board, that is
Yeah.
no longer there, but Max was there.
Yeah,
I remember trying to pitch the Community Preservation Act to the town of Auburn. The second we told people that we're going to add tax to the bills,
yeah.
shut it down immediately
Yeah.
without looking further into it, what it does, and the funds that it goes towards. It didn't matter to them. They're just kind of happy for that. One way or the other, you will.
Right, exactly.
It's-
You'll pay half if you go for the CPA instead of total. So, yeah,
It's a tough pill for a lot of residents to digest. So it needs to be pitched appropriately.
right, right.
Yeah, there's a lot of educating behind it. Yeah.
And it's, you know, we figured this was a good year because of the national election, to get people to vote. But at the same time, we might be too far along to get to that level. So we might have to do the petition to get 500 signatures instead, and then bring it to the town meeting. Needs to be voted in before we, at the meeting level, or I guess if we get the petition, we don't need to, we can just put it on the ballot.
Right, but it's tricky to do that, because obviously you want town council to weigh in on it at some point. So it's best if it's fronted by the town. But your citizen petition is within the right, of course.
Well, this has been done in 2/3 of the towns in the Commonwealth, so how much tweaking can town council do with that?
I just need to see what it drafts proposed, of course, right?
Happy to share it.
All right.
So do we need more people on the committee?
Not necessarily.
Ask them to come in?
When it's passed, that's when you need those certain people from each committee. So in
No, I
order,
know, but on this committee that's meeting 30th.
do we need more people? I don't know, didn't we discuss that sometimes it's easier with fewer people? I don't
I'm
know.
saying, if you want, many hands make light work.
Right, yeah. No, I know, I've talked to a few people, and I think it would be good to have maybe more of a variety of people that can infiltrate into a variety of residents.
Well, it'd be great to get some folks on the recreation, because that's a really strong component as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah. Housing,
I hate to add, but we just had a member of the Conservation Commission withdraw. And Conservation Commission is always looking for members. So we'll just put a PSA out there now. Absent several conservation members, they're talking about going down to a 3-member
who
commission.
just dropped out?
We got Kate Grace, just dropped out, and they have now 3 members with 1 associate.
Wow. KG back on open space.
I asked her if she wanted to stay on the master plan committee, but I guess she has some time constraints with her baby.
Yeah, she's got a baby. Yeah. That's important too. Yeah. All right. Yeah, Gordon's on the master plan. All right, any old or new business? I was thinking our next meeting, the next CPA meeting is at 7 o'clock. I was thinking we can invite Danny for pizza at 6. Our open space girl. But maybe it's a little early. I haven't gotten my plan yet in the mail. Sam offered it to me weeks ago.
So are we putting together the agenda for the 30th?
Yeah, and we need a secretary for the CPA committee. It was Rebecca LaValle at the library that said she'd like to help, but she's got, it's all about the library as well, is her interior motives, but ulterior motives, but she doesn't have Thursday evenings anyway, so. Another evening would be fine for me, but it's also conflicts with town committees and things.
So for the 30th, are you able to post the meeting?
I will, definitely. Yep. The next 2 days, I'll do that. Sounds good. Anything else anybody has to add?
So next open space meeting is next week, 28th at 2.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yep. June 11th, the next open space committee meeting at 2.
Yep.
Oh, the 30th and...
Yep. Yep. I mean, if it ends up just being us, we could combine them probably, but I don't know, do we have to make an official new committee for the CPA committee when it?
I think, let's see, I think
The appointing authority of this is the Board of Selectmen, right? So would the CPA committee be a subcommittee of the open space committee?
Right now,
Okay. Then they have to be appointed by this.
The subcommittee has to be appointed by this committee? Should we do that now? I have the people that came. Sign-in sheet.
yeah, anybody can come to the meeting, so are we just basically a subcommittee that works on that? We've appointed ourselves as a subcommittee. Right?
Okay. Do we want to include the people like Sarah and Scott and Max that,
Yeah, we want to ask them.
okay. All right, so we'll get back to them and see if they want to be on the committee, and then we can form the committee at the next meeting. How's that? Okay. Each. Let's see, my cheat sheet. I entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Anyone second it? All in favor? Aye. Okay. It's 2:50?
53.
2:53.